Alright, me in the chat, we taking on the fight. When you win pure issues, we gonna make it right. Got that brilliant tech advice flowing through the night. Yeah, we gonna solve it all, no need to ignite.
Okay, Friday morning, a little bit after 9 a.m., May 10th, 2024. I'm not sure if that music bumper got all messed up or not. Okay, so I have audio confirmation. It was messed up in my ears, I'll tell you that. Dennis says, you're welcome. Thank you. I guess maybe somebody else said something to him for that. Okay, dream, it turned into a nightmare. Did it come over double? I'll find out later. I'll go play it back. Speaker bot can be hoid. You get ready to... Oh, I don't even have the repeating messages turned on. So can I make that run now? Oh, I have to go to a different screen to do that. Jeff has got buffering. Boy, I got lots, sort of have lots of stuff. In the emails for today, I have 19 emails. I have 9 tabs bookmarked for today, but only 6 made the cut. And not all of those emails made the cut either. There's explanation behind that. And I have channel comments. Let's go start with channel comments. Ran Israel regarding installable versus portable version of Revo uninstaller. Did you need this feature? A few of us, so Wintermute also and myself, went and did some research on this. So let's see, this one is about tracing a program. I have a bookmark specifically lined up from my research on it, but yeah, that was it. And then let's see, I'll go ahead and put a thumbs up and a heart there. We're going to talk more about that subject as we get into it, but I want to catch some others. Tony Wallow says, nice intro, and that was the one that might have just got messed up. Thank you, Tony. Other plans for that. Wintermute, seems Doug is correct here. Revo can be used to trace a program's installation, then the program can be uninstalled using that trace. Now, as we start here, I'm going to defend Zavi Menor's position last night and his experience, as well as highlight this stuff about the trace feature. Because it does talk about the benefits of having Revo uninstaller actually installed on your computer, but, I mean, there's a big but to that. This is Jenny B. I see that she's in chat today. Awesome. Glad to have you, Jenny. And let's see, she's responded. We've had a couple responses back and forth. So anyway, she's here in chat. So I had already found her and made her an approved for the chat room before I even saw that comment. Matthew Barnes says, I tried the Go Johnny Go browser. You know what, I tried searching for Johnny Go browser earlier. I didn't catch Go Johnny Go. When I actually read something out loud, I comprehend it better than when I read it silently, because earlier this morning I read it as Johnny Go browser and I just did a search for that, but it's Go Johnny Go browser. When I first saw that, I thought it was related to today's trailer, but he made that comment based on an episode from a couple days ago. So I still don't know if that was, that's not a browser, but he made that comment on the show from a couple days ago. Today's show is what, 4:36, so 3 days ago. So I don't quite know what Matthew is talking about there. Is that an actual browser? Go Johnny Go is lyrics. I know that, but why would he be saying that? I don't think I had that trailer 3 days ago. I normally wouldn't replay a trailer so soon. So I don't know I don't understand that comment. Let's see, so that covers all of that. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Revo. Let's see, I got this specific. This is on the Revo uninstaller site. I thought these two question responses they had really gives the focus on it. If you just use the scan process without having it installed prior to installing a program, it can scan and find what it thinks all the elements are for what the program did while installing. However, if you had it tracing, when you did the installation, it actually creates a log, which means, in my humble thinking, is that's going to uninstall it quicker, because it's not going to have to scan and go look for all of the elements of the program. And then also, if you've done any studying of the registry, and I know Zvi has, it's very likely that at least some programs will put registry elements or even files somewhere where the scan might not be able to identify it as something that was added by virtue of that program installation. Now, to what I consider substantiation for Zvi's perspective on this is, and also Kerry Holzman has a number of times saying it doesn't make sense to install a program just to uninstall other programs. My point yesterday was, if you're doing a lot of installs and uninstalls, maybe it would be maybe you would like to have that, because I think it would probably capture more of the things that were done during the installation, but doesn't really matter. I think it's so rare that circumstances would be such that it really matters. Now, what I think is most useful for that trace program is if you want to kind of reverse engineer or understand what a particular program is doing and how the registry elements work together, you would be able to see in that trace log what the program actually did during its installation. I think that'd be really interesting and fascinating. Is it actually useful and productive? Yeah, I don't know. That's hard. That's a hard one to make a case for. Let's see, there's something else I think I wanted on here. Oh yeah, when you use Revo Uninstaller and you do the uninstaller, it will start the uninstall wizard of the program itself, the built-in uninstaller of the program. So Revo Uninstaller will actually use, and I've known this before, or I've come across this before, I intentionally don't try to remember all those details. Yeah, memory gets used up quickly. And so anyway, that's a little bit more about on that subject. And I don't know if that's going to change anybody's approach to how they're going to use that. Let's see, what all else do I have here? That's all the uninstaller stuff. I think we've said enough of that. That's the actual show running today. Well, I got a couple boxes behind me. What's all that about? I got that to talk about. I got a WordPerfect issue to talk about. And I've got an email delivery issue to talk about. Am I going to get to all of that? I don't know. Oh, and fake virus infections to talk about. And I've got, what, 21 minutes left, 20 and a half minutes. Use Revo uninstall to uninstall Revo to uninstall Revo. Yeah, right. And there's Lawn Dog with, well, Doug. If I had a dime for every time you said, well, Doug, would I be rich? No. Should I go look through chat at this point? I'm going to try to get through quickly. John Williams is not going to be here. Mr. TP Life Story, if you don't know, that's another one of Tim Cruz. Good grief. Alice Oystein, hello. Dennis, hello. Looked at my history. The group that played the trailer today was Shut Up and Kiss Me. That's not my request to you. That's the name of the musical group. Carl J, hello. Martin Hoggs from Scotland. Dennis, Panama. Brian says, hello to Fresnoville. Dennis, a link to his premiere today. Thank you for identifying that as your premiere. Jenny B is here. Hello, Jenny. Good to see you. Now, Jenny, her question was about, she was having to redo, wipe and reload her computer a lot. Let's see what else Jenny says. I can spot her real easy because she's not blue yet. It's coming. It's coming. I think it's coming, but let's see. What was her original question? Was what? I know I got it vaguely in my head. It would be on the email. Yeah, I'm going to look for that, Jenny. Yeah, now let's get her email address concealed. Even if you don't mind it being shown, Jenny, I tried to conceal email addresses for the practice, not progress. Use the right word, Doug. I would like to be part of the chat room because I'm exploring Windows, and because of the nature of what I am doing, I am crashing my system and keep having to reinstall Windows. I would like to learn a more effective way to back things up easier that is not through Microsoft OneDrive. My favorite way to do that, Jenny, is through, and we talk about Macrim Reflect a lot around here. And there's a lot of people in the chat room that prefer Acronis. And I don't care whether you go Acronis or Macrim Reflect, but I'm more familiar with Macrim Reflect, and that's the one I learned first, so that I spend more time on it. But there's a free version. And we want to give you a link. If somebody can grab that link real quick to get to the free version and point out which is the one that doesn't force you into a subscription. I just tried to launch Macrim Reflect and it did not launch. Come on, come on. I'm having some keys that are not responding correctly. Here we go. Try launching it again. And what I'll do is I'll do progressive backups. I have a scheduled backup, so it backs up a full backup every so often, and then incrementals or differentials and incrementals, and it still has not come up. Why? What is going on? Is it hiding somewhere? You don't. I have no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's up. It's up. It's over here. So I've scheduled backups over here. Does a full backup on what? The first Monday of every month, differential on the first Monday of each week, and incremental every day. So I can restore to any particular day in the past, and it's extremely easy to do. If you're using the free version, you won't be able to do incrementals. You can only do fulls and differential. Did somebody give us a link to that site for downloading it? Here's download Macrim. Well, that's from macrim.com. I want the one where you can get the older versions. Did that go straight to the older versions? Go to site. It says this site. Oh, that's YouTube saying this site might be harmful. I said go to site, and it's downloading. It did a download there? No, you do not want the most recent free version, because that's going to push you into giving your email address, and it'll be a demo for a certain period of time. Don't use that. That's what that one looks like. Wintermute gave us Major Geeks. Does this get us to the last one that is free and doesn't rope you into getting a demo version? Neither of those are the link that I'm using. So let me go get this. Go grab this link here and control click on this. Let's see, right click on this and copy the link. My clicks are not working right. Copy hyperlink, because we're hyper around here. Let's go. This is the one that I like to download from. Bring this up on screen. And it's this 7175 that is the most recent one that you can decline to give your email address, and you want to use the personal use version to install that. Any of these more recent ones are going to start you out, I think in a trial mode, or force you to put in your email address, something like that. This one, 7175, you'll be able to remove the check mark for giving them your email address, and you'll be able to select the one that says for personal use. So I'll go put Macrim Reflect into the chat room and Control V to paste that link. And that's the one that I'd be able to really kind of coach you along with that. Jenny. Because that makes it real easy to just restore back to a point where before whatever mess up happens. And I would since we were talking about Revo uninstaller, if I'm going to install some software that I think I might want to uninstall later, I'd just as soon go ahead and install it without first installing Revo uninstaller or even using it. And as my backup method, if I don't like the included uninstall from the program, is then I would do a restore. And I've done that many times. You are welcome, Jenny. Okay, so then what topic will I go on to next? So Doug, why do you have 19 emails? Well, a client is having trouble with, in fact, I talked about this client a week or two ago, where they were having problems with emails not going through. They were being rejected when they were going to SBC Global or AT&T.net addresses or .com addresses, whatever they are. They were being rejected because their domain name, their custom domain name, did not have SPF configured and DKIM configured and DMARC configured. So I started working on that and found that their web hosting service had control of the DNS servers. And there's this weird thing where GoDaddy has their domain, they're using Google Workspace, their website is hosted by somebody else. And then when I got into it further, their DNS servers are AWS servers, Amazon Web Services. So yeah, the company that wound up helping with this is their web hosting company, the one that makes changes and stuff. They said, well, we can do this for you. I said, great, go ahead and do it. They sent me an email back saying, oh, it's all fixed. We tested it. It's working. And my client yesterday and the day before, I think it started 2 days ago, that they started telling me about it, is they were getting rejection emails. And a lot of these emails that I had queued up for today are samples of the rejection. So I don't need to tell you about all of these. So I'm scrolling down here. Oh, no. Oh, then also I did a search in my email for all of the emails that had delivery status notification as the subject line. And I got emails going back to, how far back did these go? To 2015, because anything that matches delivery status notification would come up. But those older ones did not have the same rejection information. So let's come up to these more recent ones so that I can read out to you what they're saying now. Let's see, can I show this? No, I can't show this because it exposes the email address. So I'll just read it. The user you are trying to contact is receiving mail at a rate that prevents additional messages from being delivered. Please resend your messages at a later time. If the user is able to receive mail at that time, your message will be delivered. So I first thought, that's a problem on the recipient's end. It's not our problem. But there was 2 different email addresses having the same problem, and they were AT&T and SBC Global messages going to those addresses. Those are the same addresses that were having the problem with the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC problem. I thought that was fixed. So I went and investigated at learndmarc.com. This is an awesome site. So just learndmarc.com, and it wants you to send an email message to this address. They're expecting an email to that address. They don't care who it comes from. Every time you go learndmarc.com, you're going to get a different email address. So if one of you sent, you could go ahead and do, well, no, you're not going to be able to read that, are you? Well, this would be kind of fun. I'll copy that email address and put it in the chat. Go ahead, somebody, send an email to this location. Now it's going to reveal information about your email address. So maybe you don't want to, or I'll promise to try to not expose it. Really, Doug? You're going to promise to try to not expose it? But what happens when you send an email address to this? Then it starts giving us information about your email address. So I tested my client's email address this morning utilizing that. I'm taking that off screen right now. So It does. I guess it doesn't make sense for any of you to try sending to that unless you don't care about exposing. Or I could just describe what I find. But anyway, so I checked that based upon my emails, my client's email address. I logged into one of their email accounts through the web, and I ran that test. Alice says I sent them an email. All right, great. And it turns out DMARC is not configured. They did the SPF, they did the DKIM, they did not do the DMARC. So I sent an email off to them this morning. Hey, we're still getting rejection notices. So what happens next? Yeah, I have some stuff coming up here now. Alice, this does expose your email address. So let's see how quickly I can get up studio mode and do a proper blur. Let's see, if I go over there, then I punch this one and I turn on a blur, and then I don't want to do that blur. Let's do this blur. I'm doing this in the, what do they call it? The preview monitor, to go blur the part that has Alice's address. Now, even if it's okay with you, Alice, to expose your address, I'm trying to be better about doing this the right way. So then I've got to blur over there too. And let's see, I'll go turn another blur on. Where is that one? That one's everything. That one's everything. So let's click on that and then come over to scrunch this down to this level. Doug, you're doing a lot. You're saying a lot of words and we're not really learning anything from that. Yeah, get over it. I'm filling the silence while I'm figuring this out. Yep, I think that did it. So I got those two blurs turned on and in the right location. So here I'm going to bring this on screen. So here I've got her email address over in this area blurred and over out here blurred. I'm sure I got it all. So this is the next thing that happened. She sent the email. The system automatically detected that and it came onto this screen. And when we do press any key to continue, then it's going to figure out the SPF and the DKIM and the DMARC. So it's going to tell if those things are properly configured. Now, if I take that back off of that screen and do the press any key to continue, let's see. There, it's running SPF. I found an SPF policy at gmail.com. Let's see, there's exposes her address again. And it's actually, you see it typing this out. It's like watching somebody type, but it gives that additional information. Rather than going through the rest of that for Alice, I'll let you folks can go try it with your own email address. There's no special skills to doing this. There's a little gobbledygook stuff here, but so that's what you do and how you use that. Then I'll come back to chat room there, turn off studio mode, and bring chat back up. So, Greg M., I usually find that SPF and DMARC is all that is usually needed. And so he's leaving out DKIM. If a domain has been blacklisted due to lack of SPF, DMARC, and DKIM, even though it gets fixed at the host, you might still need to request to remove from the blacklist. Yeah, that's not the problem we're having right now. DMARC has not been done, and we're not getting a report of being blacklisted. Steve Gibson mentioned this. I have no idea if that's where I got that from. Okay, what else do I got to get to? Macrium 8, if that helps, according to looking at the About section. I don't think, yeah, see, these are Macrium 8, now one of the things that you have to do when you install that, Jenny, is after you install it, do not let it do an update. It'll ask you if you want to do an update. Well, you got to go to turn off updates. Now, I think I still have, don't I have reflect still? Oh, here it is. Yeah, to turn off the updates, you come up to other tasks, go to edit defaults and settings, and then go to update settings right here and remove the check mark for showing updates. Now, I have a paid version, so I don't mind getting updates. But if you want to stick with the free version, turn off the updates and turn off all of these check marks. You don't need any of these check marks in the updates section, because once it updates, then you're going to, I think you're going to get stuck into their messages are going to be pushing you towards paying for the product. By the way, I have 5 licenses of my own for my own uses. So I'm in the business. I pay for products that I use. That's the last free version. So Ran Israel saying his link was the last free version. Let's see. Let's go back to that again. Be careful, a site may be harmful. Go to site. Oh, see, it just downloads it right away. Doesn't even tell us what version it is. So that's why that was a little off-putting to me. And it is from Ran Israel saying that is from macrium.com. It's a link to that specific one. Well, it probably is. I trust Ran Israel completely. But you need to know that that's not trying to take you to a website. That's trying to do a download right now. No delay. What are these boxes behind me? This is one of the 3 sites that are clients of mine that are the government subsidized housing for elderly, financially disadvantaged, and other people that need extra care, residential facilities. They have security. When you go in their doors, you got to check in with the security guard. You got to get a badge. If you live there and they recognize you, they'll you go on through without having to get a badge. But anyone they don't recognize, you have to get a badge. And Jenny, you're welcome. Thank you. They have security cameras, tons and tons of them, 2 monitors worth of security cameras, more than even Ken Stout has, even when you count all of the security cameras that he's surreptitiously installed in the homes of his viewers. And they had a problem a couple weeks ago where it's not working. They had the security company come in and they spent hours there. They wound up concluding that the motherboard in the computer that keeps the recordings has a defective Ethernet port. So they said, well, we'll work up a quote for you for replacing that, because it's not leased equipment, and this is a service company that charges $200 to drive to the address, to walk in the door. Then they start charging time. And that's what they were going to do, and my client talked to me about it, and I said, well, how about just installing an Ethernet adapter, a PCIe Ethernet adapter in this computer? I've seen the computer. I know it has expansion slots. So I was given permission to talk directly to the security camera company, and I said, well, I'd be happy to install a PCIe Ethernet board, and they said, sure, go ahead. That's fine with them. I don't think they wanted to replace the motherboard in that computer or replace the computer. So I went out there I bought the part. Well, I had one on hand, but I bought a replacement because I knew I was about to use that one, right? I went out there and I asked them for the admin credentials for signing into that computer. I said, well, it's such and such. And I said, no, that's the admin. That's for signing on to the software. That doesn't work for signing into Windows on that computer. And they went and did some research and they said, oh yeah, you're right. Here's the password. So now I got the admin password to sign into Windows. I go over there. It's up in a cabinet. It's up in a rack mount wall unit. I have to open the door and swing this open. I've shown you pictures of this. It's really heavy. It's just scary to do. There's so much equipment in that box. So I open it, I plug in, I have one of those portable monitors and a wireless keyboard mouse. I plug it in, I log in, and I see the wireframe globe down in the bottom right corner. And yes, indeed, it's not connected to the internet, even though the Ethernet cable is plugged in and the lights are flickering. So I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute, this Ethernet is built onto the motherboard. I wonder if they even did a full power recycle. Full power recycle means you shut down the computer and you unplug the power, then hold down the power button to discharge the capacitors and then start it back up. So I did that, boom, Ethernet's working. It just needed restart. But you can't go to the Windows button and just click on power and choose restart. That does not restart the Ethernet circuitry on a motherboard, because the Ethernet port always has power so that you can configure that computer to wake up on LAN, so that a command can be sent through the network to turn the power on for the computer. So that in order to do that, the Ethernet port on the motherboard has to have power. Even if it's a PCI adapter, it can still have power, I think. I'm not sure if that's consistent across all of them. So anyway, the cameras, some of them came up, but not all of the cameras woke up after doing that. So I go futzing around with the PoE network switch that all the cameras connect through, and I wind up concluding that I think that PoE Ethernet switch is defective. So I order a replacement for it. I haven't even reported this to the security company, but I reported this and I ordered it. So here's my Amazon listing where I ordered that on May 3rd. This one still says it's on the way, but it's running late. After it was delayed for two days, then I ordered another one. But that wasn't good enough for me. I ordered a third one. That's why I have two of them here now, because the ones that I ordered on May 7th arrived last night. And this one's the more expensive one. It's the exact same make and model as what they have in place right now. This one is a lot cheaper. Let's see, I'm going to bring up that invoice so I can tell you the price of them. The TrendNet unit was $232. So that's the second time that I ordered the TrendNet unit. The first one that I ordered that never came was $17 more expensive. And the cheaper one is $99.99. And you see that the size difference. It's not physically the same size. I'm inclined to go with the more expensive one just because it's an exact match, and we know that that one was working. This one, it claims to be quieter. There's no fans in it. It indicates this. It looks like it would be okay with the power because it says total power budget 300 watts. This one says 246 watts power budget. So it makes me think that this one should be able to power all of those cameras, but I just feel uneasy about it. This is the safer bet for me, and my name is Betts after all. So I'm inclined to go with that one. If I go with the smaller one, then I'm going to have to figure out how to mount it in that cage, because that cage is this wide. And in the comments from people, some of them said it did not have the mounting brackets that it claimed to have. Now, does anybody in chat have insight on that subject? Lawn Dog says the terminology he was taught was cold boot. Yeah. However, cold boot it used to be that shutting the computer off without unplugging it would still be called as a cold boot. So then when we got to the point where we had electronic on switches rather than physical toggle switches, then that became a little fuzzy. Cold boot is a term pre-ATX when cases had real power buttons. It doesn't infer disconnecting the power cord and draining the capacitors. I agree. The term cold boot is not sufficient. I like your thinking. I like you. I'm thinking about quality of the product. And the model that's installed there now was installed by the security company. They didn't install a cheap one. Screen is still partially blurred. Thank you. I'll fix that right now. There. That should turn off all the blurs. Oh, wait a minute. Why is not SpeakerBot being heard? I haven't heard any SpeakerBot, I don't think. Oh. None of the repeating messages have shown up. We did some talking about SpeakerBot yesterday, so let's go see what's going on with SpeakerBot over here. Usually when it's not working, it's because it's not logged into YouTube. Yeah, see there, that's what it is. It's not logged into YouTube. I looked at this before the show started. It was logged in. Disconnected authentication error. So I'm clicking on that. It's not working. I can't even sign in with Google. I've been through this before. I'll do forget the account and then click sign in Google, and it's still not working. Well, I'm over time already, so I'm not going to continue with figuring that out. I do not have the redirect already set up for Carrie's show. This is Friday. I tried to do that last night, but he didn't have it scheduled yet. I could have done that this morning before showtime. Did not think about it. There it is. It's at 1 p.m. today, Pacific time. Okay, the fix is in. Have I talked about everything that I want to? I think so. Crystal Disk Info, is 94 bad for stop start count? No. Stop start count, that's not an error message. Is that just for stop starting, meaning power on and power off the computer? I'll let somebody else answer that. You could send a screenshot of what you're seeing. It's just stats, neither good nor bad. I think that's just, yeah, gosh, now I want to go do it, huh? I can't just walk away from a question like that. I can't step away from the question. So let's see, Crystal Disk Info. Now, Crystal Disk Info does not have the same stats for all drives because it depends upon what smart info your drive is reporting. So Crystal Disk Info, let's see, here's version 9.1.1 it looks like. Somebody's going to yell at me for not having the most recent version quickly at hand. Let's get a user account control here and see, because I don't think she gave me the full wording of that. Did it show up somewhere? Where is it? I heard it. I heard something come up, but I don't see it. Something is not right in Denmark. Oh, here it is, finally. Gee, Christmas. Crystal Disk Info for start stop count. Start stop count. Do I have a start stop count here? I don't have anything showing. See, what I'm concerned about is warnings. Not even controller busy. That's not a problem. Errors. I'd be concerned about that. Start stop. Do I have a start? Yeah, here's start stop count. Nope. That's not an error symptom at all. See, I've got 73D. That's just how many times have you started and stopped it, I think. I would be concerned about error rate. I would be concerned about seek error rate. See, these are zeros, the ones that I'm concerned about. They should be zeros. Recalibration retries, spin retry count. I'm expecting these to be zeros. Let's see, reallocation event count. I'd be concerned about that one. It's showing zeros. Pending sector count and uncorrectable sector count. These are all showing zeros. What I do is I go down and look at anything that's non-zero and consider, is that a scary sounding word? And no, stop start count is not a scary sounding word. Power on hours is not scary, right? You don't need the most recent is going to be able to recognize new drives. It's not going to change. As far as the smart info that your drive is reporting, it's not going to be any different based upon the version of Crystal Disk info that you're using. So I don't worry about being somewhat out of date on Crystal Disk info. Not a big deal. I will look over the chat messages more later. And if there's something else I want to respond to, I'll do that tomorrow. But I'm already over time by way too much. Way too much. It's the way back machine. Way too much machine. I'm looking for a stop streaming button. Have a great Friday, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye. Normal show tomorrow. Is there anything that's normal around?